Okay, your best friend's wedding, your sister's new baby, a neighbor's new blog, definitely all reasons to celebrate for sure. And we know we shouldn't feel this way, but sometimes we do. So what can you do when someone else's happiness hurts? Amy Weiland is here to help us put a positive spin on those moments that leave us with sort of mixed emotions. It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
We were just chatting during the commercial break. Even when your life is feeling full and satisfied and content, it can still creep up. In fact, this topic first surfaced when a friend who had attended a summer's worth of weddings, right?
Sure.
Some of her best girlfriends, admitted that she was so happy for them, and she's actually really happy in her own life, but she felt that twinge of, I kind of wish that was me.
Absolutely. Well, she's not alone. This is something that we can see trace back to our biology. When we look at social psychology and we look at evolutionary psychology, we know that this is something we're pre-wired for, where we want to live a happy life. And we want our friends to live a happy life. We want to come from that place of positivity. But we do have this pre-wiring for noticing something we don't have and maybe assuming that that's a threat to our happiness.
So it's in us, it's natural.
Yes.
You're going to help us kind of get out of that pity place, if we want to call it that, to a more positive space. And you say the first step is to actually name the negative feeling, name what we're feeling.
Absolutely. Well, we have to put a name to it to acknowledge that it's going on. So as we feel those feelings of, okay, suddenly I'm looking at my life a little differently. And this is the common theme as we start to feel these feelings, where we go into this self or this introspection, and it is self-criticism. Envy. Let's call it what it is.
Which that's such a hard word to say about how we're feeling and how we're, perceiving those around us. But envy, just say it. We're envious. And you have to acknowledge that is the word. That is the feeling I'm feeling. And it's this self-criticism. It puts our decisions, it puts our life, it puts our circumstances under the microscope. And we're like a computer anyway. We're analyzing things all of the time. So we're comparing things. And that's where it gets a little negative on our side, where we're comparing our life to someone else's without putting all of the pieces into place. Is there anything else, Amy, we learn about ourselves as we analyze and we start to really kind of put under a microscope those feelings? Anything about maybe our current life or our current rhythm?
I think this is where it's a positive thing, that we get to look at and kind of fragment out what we are envious of, and we find what we value. So I know that if my sister were a rock climber and she was traveling the world and she was seeing a lot of things and she was getting a lot of accolades for this, I would be less envious because I'm scared of heights. So I don't value the practice.
Right.
But if I have a good friend who gets a job in my dream job, that because they're in my close social circle, I tend to be more envious of the value which is in the job itself because I value that, but also they're in my close social circle. So it hurts a little bit more.
Hurts, but helps you identify the value, what's important to you.
Absolutely.
Is any sign of this a marker that, hey, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overloaded, I'm not mentally, emotionally where I need to be from a health perspective?
Definitely. So what we need to do then is, if those are our indicators, take a step back for a moment. Pause. I like to call it positivity, where we do put the pause button on, and we set up a little bit of boundaries. If this is genuinely a very sensitive place for us, I know I have some friends that are experiencing infertility, and if they know they're going into a conversation with someone and that's going to be a topic, maybe they're talking about their kids or they're pregnant, they have to be able to pause for a second and say, am I ready and am I prepared today to have that conversation?
Before they ever engage.
Yeah.
It's one thing if this is happening to you every once in a while, right? Like after a once-a-year wedding or something to that effect. But what if you're constantly finding yourself in the grass is greener mentality and line of thinking? Is there a way to avoid that trap?
So what I would recommend is really focus on what you do have. What is going well for you? So this is part of the kind of breaking things out and fragmenting it and investigating it. Take some action. So look at what you're valuing that they might have and say, what can I do, or what's already existent in my life that kind of fits what I envy in their life. So let's say I value education and one of my friends gets accepted into a grad program and I might not have time to go, or I might not be able to afford to go. So taking action is, well, what can I do that kind of fills that void because I see the value in what I'm envious of? So take a community class, or get involved in a think tank, or get involved in a group of people that also value education.
Do something.
Yeah.
Do something. At the end of the day, you know, it's easy to blow up this problem, if you will, these feelings of envy, but if we really focus on the relationship, you say, that will help ground and center us back to what's really important.
Because the truth is, it started with the other person. Maybe they've gotten the promotion we wanted. Maybe they had the marriage that we wanted. And then we kind of made it about us, but then we learned something about us, what we value and what we can do about it. And the idea is to bring it back to them. So it might even be a coworker with whom we're going to continue to work. And if we're envious and we start to nitpick things they do, that's not a good, healthy working relationship. So come back to it. So we know through science, especially cognitive psychology, when we say something with genuine intent to move forward, like, I'm so happy for you, and we're coming from a place of genuineness, then we start to believe that. We really are happy for them. We see the benefit it will provide for them. And then also, it takes the focus off of us and back to them.
So don't discount those words.
Exactly.
And that genuine intent. Great advice, great advice. Where can we go to get more positive strategies?
So positiveIQ.com. You can take our assessment to see your positivity level, essentially, or you can contact me about different workshops we offer at Weiland at positiveIQ.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.